Hey Prover Nation, and welcome to Ask a Specialist. My name is Dr. Heather Carden, and I am a wellness physician in Overland Park, Kansas, and I am one of your Prove It nutrition specialists. So we're going to wait a few minutes here while everyone grabs their friends, grab their family, grab some coworkers, and pop on here. I am here live every Wednesday to help you answer questions about the Prove It products, Keto OS, Biomax, and Keto Cream. So I always start with the beginning of what ketones are and ketosis is, and then I will end with just running through the products and just running through what the ingredients are. So we've got people just jumping on here right and left, so I'd always like to wait just a few minutes till everyone gets on there. So hello, Sarah. It was wonderful spending the weekend with you in Epic. Had an amazing time, and know that you can share this Facebook Live to your friends or to your own Facebook wall. You can send it through Messenger, and the past ones are all under the video section on Facebook.com. Just Prove It. So the Facebook you're on now. Hey, Annalise, nice to see you too. I'd love to say hello to everyone, but I think that we wouldn't get any questions answered. So we are going to get started here with what are ketones and why have we not heard much about them in the past couple decades? It's really, really simple. We have two fuel sources. Our body can run on glucose, number one, which comes from carbohydrates and proteins, or we can run on ketones, which is the second fuel source, which is really a great fuel source, not the second one, but a fuel source that our body can use. It's the native fuel source that our body uses when we're in utero, when we're first born. Our body knows absolutely how to utilize it as fuel in our body. Keto OS is simply therapeutic exogenous ketones. So ketones are a byproduct of fatty acid metabolism. So fats like nuts and seeds and avocados and some heavy dairy, those things are all healthy fats that break down into ketones. Prior to this, in order to get the amazing benefits of ketones, we've had to go on a ketogenic diet. Sometimes that takes days, weeks, or months. It's a very, very low carb diet, maybe less than 5% for some people, and a really high fat diet. In order for our body or us to utilize ketones endogenously, which means our body makes those, we have to go through, again, several days to weeks to get rid of all the excess glucose or that's floating around our body. So we use all that resource. Then our body taps into ketones. Some of you may have experienced this if you're an endurance athlete. When you hit the wall, so to speak, you know, that period where you run the first 2 or 3 miles and it's kind of tough, and then you hit that wall, then you feel like the Energizer Bunny. That's because your body's running on ketones. Ketones give us a more oxygen and more ATP than glucose does. So I always say it's a far superior fuel to glucose, but it's been difficult to get before or until now. Now we can simply drink Keto OS and Biomax and get ketones right into our body within 20 minutes. We don't have to go on a fat fast. We don't have to go on a regular fast or ketogenic diet. We can simply just drink exogenous ketones and get all the amazing benefits. So ketones, number one, are a byproduct of fat metabolism. Ketosis is a word you'll hear a lot. Ketosis simply means your body's in the state of burning fat for fuels. Before, that's when we've gone on that really low carb diet for extended days or weeks for our body to use endogenous ketones, which means our liver made those and tapped into them. But now we can simply drink exogenous ketones from the Prove It products, and we can get all the benefits of those. So what are the amazing benefits, and why would someone ever want to go on a low carb diet in the past? Because ketones are neuroprotective. They are an amazing signaler. So we're still learning a lot more of how they signal in our body. Amazing week in Epic, hearing from Dr. Ford and Dr. D'Agostino about how ketones signal our brain to make signals to our cells. So they just help communicate to all areas and organs and hormones in our body. We also know that ketones actually reduce or inhibit inflammation. They help reduce the amount of insulin that's actually dumped when our body eats carbohydrates. So it helps create a steadier level of blood ketones. And Dr. Andy did a great explanation of this last night on the call. So I'm going to get down to business, which is answering questions for you. So ketones, a byproduct of fat metabolism. Ketosis simply means an elevated level of blood ketones. And ketones are an amazing molecule that our body can run much more efficiently on. It offers more oxygen, more energy. It's neuroprotective, decreases inflammation, and aids in digestion. So let's get started with some questions here. So Donna says, is it dangerous for your body to go back and forth burning glucose? So Donna, there's a lot of talk about a targeted ketogenic diet, a cyclic ketogenic diet. That's when you're strictly using a ketogenic diet and you're going back and forth, which means in and out of ketos. There's a lot of different philosophies about that. I generally don't encourage that because it confuses the body. Again, this is with an endogenous ketogenic diet. But when you're using exogenous ketones from Keto OS, it absolutely is safe. Your body's not very selective. It uses whatever fuel is most available. So if I eat a muffin or a bagel and I drink my Keto OS, the Keto OS is already broken down. It goes right into your body, and your body can use the ketones right there for fuel. If I'm eating something else like an apple, a bagel, a steak, it has to go through the entire digestive process for our body to break down and utilize. So after drinking Keto OS, you can expect to experience an elevated level of blood ketones or be in ketosis from anywhere from 2 to 6+ hours. But I do want to mention that even if you don't get into ketosis, if you're measuring your blood or urine, you're still getting all the amazing benefits of ketones when you're drinking Keto OS. So know that even if you don't hit that mark, you don't get the urine to turn a different color, I think red or pink or purple, even if you're in dark ketosis, know that you're still getting the benefits from that. So John's asking, can it help develop lean muscle mass? John, love that question. Ketones are muscle sparing, which means normally if someone goes to work out, our body tears down and breaks down muscle. If we don't refeed or refuel, then our body will actually tap into our lean mass. If our body's in a state of ketosis or using ketones, we know that it is muscle sparing and can actually help increase lean muscle mass. Max has actually a vegetarian taurine. Taurine and leucine are specific amino acids that are keto friendly that can break down into more ketone bodies and increase protein synthesis. So yes, John, that's your answer. Gayla's asking about bilirubin, which has to do with our liver. So let's just talk about that a minute. So Gayla, I'm just going to, like I say, open the umbrella. Are ketones or exogenous ketones safe for your liver and for your kidney? And first of all, I want to let you know that Prove It is not making any medical claims. We have not privately funded any studies or done any experiments. We're simply using what we have known about ketones that have been studied for about the last 90 years and exogenous ketones, which have been studied and utilized for about the last 2 to 3 decades. Be a skeptic, go out there and Google ketones or exogenous ketones and whatever condition, and you'll see a lot of clinical research there proving it. But Prove It itself has not done those research. We're simply utilizing what has been studied and learned, and really what the 4 leaders of ketone technology are learning as we speak today. So ketones are safe. Keto OS or exogenous ketones are safe for your liver. They are safe for your kidney. And I know Dr. Andy last night referred to that we are actually discovering that ketones are actually very healthy for our liver and our kidneys, which were once thought that maybe they would be damaging. But Keto OS is safe for your liver. It is safe for your kidneys because it's water soluble. So get a lot of questions. I've had a history of kidney stones. I've had only one kidney, or I've, had any other history of kidney issues. Keto OS is water soluble. And to find a more detailed information description, you can go to theproveitnow.com, go to the little question mark at the top. There's a circle around it. Click on that. The second tab over is health, and it talks about who is ketone safe for. It is safe for pregnant women. It is safe for children and for babies. It is safe for the older population. It is safe for your kidneys. It is safe for your liver, safe for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. So I know I answer pretty briefly and quickly, but you can find extended information there in the Help Center, which is, again, the little question mark on the top of the proveitnow.com page. So I want to welcome everybody, and if someone is there being my wingman on Prove It, if you'd post that, that would be awesome to share with everyone. So sometimes it goes so fast, it's really, really hard to read. So Susan's asking exactly how much caffeine is in the Keto OS product. So when we talk about the 2.1, the orange, I'm going to say orange instead of numbers today, or the max, we know that the uncharged has no caffeine, and the charged has about the same amount of caffeine as a medium Starbucks. The 3.0 has less caffeine. Again, the uncharged has none, and the chocolate or the 3.0 has about the same amount of caffeine as a small Starbucks coffee. Oh, Gayla's asking, how much do you give babies or children? So thank you for asking that. So if we look at the packages and we do the math, what is in one single serving of Keto OS is about 4.65 teaspoons. So I generally recommend that people start using maybe a teaspoon in 2 or 3 ounces of water with a child, maybe the age of 2 to 6 or 7. Again, children vary so much and grow so differently, height and weight, but they're water soluble. So if the body doesn't need the ketones for the child or for yourself, they're simply going to excrete them out. Oftentimes I'll tell moms to go ahead and mix up one big shaker bottle, and then if this is a 16-ounce bottle and you've got 2 kids, then give them maybe 2 or 3 ounces of yours each and see how they feel. So start very slowly, kind of monitor how the child feels, their moods, their sleep, their attitude, even simple things like I had a story that the mom said she'd given the child, this is again not a clinical study, it is just a shared testimony that her child drank the Keto and simply just tied their shoe, and they'd been working on it for a very long time. So amazing signalers, not thoroughly understood. We're going to have a lot more information the next 2 to 3 decades on really how ketones signal and help our brain. Hey Brent, thank you for posting that. Can you lose fat on a ketogenic diet because you produce ketones? So Dr. Dan, thanks for asking that question. With a ketogenic diet, there's many, many amazing benefits. One of the byproducts of a ketogenic diet can be fat loss, or it can be increase of lean muscle mass. So you can actually gain lean muscle mass on a ketogenic diet. The scale, which I don't like to even talk about, can go up unless we're talking about lean muscle mass, bone mass. All those things can actually help increase. We know our long bones produce red blood cells. They require a lot of oxygen. Ketones themselves increase oxygen in our body, so it makes sense that it could increase lean muscle mass. Ketones are muscle sparing. So we don't, I'm going to say it right now, Keto OS is not a weight loss supplement. And hopefully everyone knows that by now. I say it every week. It's not a weight loss supplement, but the byproducts of ketones lead to fat loss. We know hormone insulin is a major depositor of fat. So every time you eat a carbohydrate or overeat protein, your body has to secrete insulin to get glucose for energy, and what isn't used is stored for a rainy day, called fat. So if we can decrease the amount of insulin that's released when you're having a carbohydrate, or we can help balance it out. So again, ketones help balance out our blood sugar, insulin release. They also help reduce cravings. As again, we talk about signals for our brain, not really well understood, but so many people saying that they reduce their cravings. It actually helps elevate our mood, so we feel happier and kinder, which sometimes people will emotionally eat. So again, fat loss from ketones can be from balancing out blood sugar, helping mood stability, decreasing cravings, and really giving you more energy, so you feel like you want to get out and move more. But Keto OS is not a weight loss supplement, but benefits can lead to fat loss. So I'm trying to read these questions. The briefer the questions, the easier it is for me to read there. So Ashley's asking that she's been drinking Keto OS and for a couple months, but she hasn't seen the scale move. So if someone's using Keto OS for body recomposition, whether it's to increase lean muscle mass or to lose fat, make sure you're using more than 1 or 2 different ways to measure. So if you have a scale, use that. If you have access to a body fat meter or a bod pod or a Tanita scale, or even just take a yarn of string, and I love to use this in my office so nobody sees inches, and just put a piece of masking tape on it. You can tape several different parts of your body, at least measure 10 different parts, your neck, your arms, your chest, a couple different spots in your abdomen, your hips, your inner thigh, your calves. Really see what changes. Know that normal biomechanics for our body to turn over or make new healthy blood cells is really 90 to 180 days. Things don't happen overnight, but I do want to say what we can expect the first 5 days, or what we've really heard testimonies of people experiencing the first 5 days of putting exogenous ketones into your body. So Jay, I'm going to talk about the difference between Maui Punch and Max Swiss at the last 5 minutes. So if you've got product questions, keep asking those, and I'm going to go over the last 5 minutes. So what you can expect the first few days that you put exogenous ketones in there are a better energy source. Or if you're the person who happens to feel tired after drinking Keto OS, that's because it's actually down regulating your excitatory neurons. Or if you're one of those type X syndrome or A syndrome people, somebody who's really, really go, or someone who suffers from anxiety or lack of focus, drinking Keto OS will actually decrease the excitatory neurons and increase focus. It can increase recall, increase sleep patterns. So know that it takes really a good 60 to 90 days to make healthy cellular changes. But the first 5 days with your experience, you can really notice maybe you're sleeping a little more sounder. I know I had somebody said she actually slept 2 hours for the first time she was measuring it on a device. She slept 2 hours with her first serving of Keto OS. So little measurements. We weren't talking about the scale. That's something that people seem to refer to. But again, take lots of different measurements. How many hours you're sleeping, what your cravings are like, what your moods are like, how you wake up in the morning, if you're sleeping more soundly, and really what your energy is. So you're coming home, you can do more things when you get home from your day at work, maybe interact more with your kids or your husband, maybe clean a closet. All those little things add up that I think we take for granted. So don't forget to just listen to your body and notice, like, hey, a week ago I wouldn't have had slept like that. A week ago I wouldn't have had that energy. And give your body time for this amazing amazing amount of fuel, and that's what exogenous ketones are. They're a fuel that our body can use right at a cellular level to help change things like giving more oxygen, giving more energy, reducing inflammation. Yes, Nicole, thanks for saying that. Type A. I said syndrome X or type A, I should have said. So Michelle's asking about thyroid, and I get thyroid questions every single week, which I love to talk about. So think of the thyroid as the ignition for our body. Think of the adrenal glands as little glands that sit on top of our kidneys, and they are the engine. They make several different hormones, like our corticotropin hormones, our mineral hormones, some of our sex hormones. But just think, if we're using a superior fuel source in our body, like exogenous ketones or Keto OS or Max, we put it into our body, our ignition's going to run better. If it's hyperactive or hypoactive, giving it a fuel source will make it run more steady. You've just got to give your body time. It takes months and years to develop imbalances in your body, and know that when we're healing our body or giving it a better fuel source, you've just got to be patient and give it a few weeks or months. Skylar, we're going to answer all those answers at the end of the question. Yvette is asking about fibromyalgia. That's the third time I've seen that. So Yvette, I'm going to open that umbrella bigger, just talking about general inflammation. Fibromyalgia, we know, is inflammation of the muscles, but let's talk about things like arthritis. Let's talk about psoriatic arthritis or ulcerative colitis, which is inflammation in the gut. We know what arthritis is, talking about fibromyalgia, which is inflammation of the muscles. And know that, again, we're not making any medical claims. If you want to have more particular testimonies, when we're done today, scroll to the top where the search bar is. And Nicole, put in fibromyalgia, or put in ulcerative colitis, or put in Parkinson's. I've seen that. I'm getting to Parkinson's. Put in that one, and you're going to see, again, very real, very honest experiences that real provers have had using the product. So you can't get any better than that. So again, when we make our body run better, giving it a better fuel source, our thyroid runs more easy, our adrenals run more easy, which can take away inflammation. But you can also Google beta hydroxybutyrate. That is the ketone body that we use in our Keto OS and Max. So if we know that Keto OS, or specifically beta hydroxybutyrate, inhibits inflammation, specifically a cascade called NLRP3 inflammasome, that we should reduce inflammation. We talk about fibromyalgia, it's inflammation of the muscles. We also know that ketones are muscle sparing. So in something like Parkinson's or a movement disorder or a dystonia or fibromyalgia where there's a muscle issue, ketones, again, are a fuel source. They are not a drug. It is not a protein supplement. It is not a multivitamin. It's simply an extraordinary fuel source that we can put in our body to help our bodies get on that path towards a better, healthier state. Oh, Riley, love this question. Why would you use Keto OS if you're already in nutritional ketosis? So Riley, that was me. I was already on a ketogenic diet when I first sampled exogenous ketone. So I'd already been measuring my blood ketone level. But if you've been in nutritional ketosis, you know it's going to get vary throughout the day. And there's many factors that can interfere with our body's naturally producing ketones. It can be improper digestion. This is endogenous true ketogenic diet. We get this question all the time. Well, why would someone who's fat adapted use Keto OS? Because when you're putting exogenous ketones in your body, it helps create a more steady state of blood ketones. You know, things like stress, lack of sleep, overworking out, underworking out, overeating a few almonds or protein, or lack of sleep, stress, emotional things can release different hormones like cortisol and insulin and insulin and ghrelin, which are leptin, which can interfere with our body naturally producing ketones. So now we can have Keto OS, put that into our body to help make a more steady state. Dr. Dominic D'Agostino talked a couple weeks ago that it really helps him get throughout the afternoon, and it will actually elevate his level of blood ketones that his own body can produce. Think of it very simply. We've been using protein powders for 4 or 5 decades. People are eating eggs and chicken and meat, but they supplement with protein to help increase the protein in their body. Exogenous ketones are the same thing. Even if you're on a true ketogenic diet or fat adapted, adding the exogenous ketones will help make a better steady state. It will help replace what our body's using, and our bodies will become more efficient in using ketones for fuel for a longer duration of time. So hopefully that helped answer that question of why would I use ketones if I'm already fat adapted? Sorry, I'm just trying to read a few questions. So I want to say welcome to everybody who's on here today from the U.S. I met a lot of amazing people from Australia, even though we're not shipping to Australia, just FYI, but there are a lot of Australians who are super excited. We are open in Canada and have been for a few months, so there's a lot of amazing things there. I had the opportunity, as in a few hundred other people did, of going through the lab. It was truly an educational process for me, and just know that Prove It really focuses on education for having this Wednesday live where you You can ask a question. Support at Prove It HQ. You can send your questions in there. The Help Center, which is found on the proveitnow.com page. Having the lab tours, which filled up quickly and hundreds of people went through. And then we're going to talk about Keto Academy in the last few minutes also, which is an amazing experience to really develop and increase your awareness of ketones, the ketone technology, exogenous ketones, and know where we can be going in the future with ketones. So Amanda, great question. I don't have a gallbladder. So great. Not great you don't have a gallbladder, but thanks for asking that question. When we drink exogenous ketones, they're water soluble. Our body doesn't have to break anything down except for in the 2.1, which has the MCT oil. Our gallbladder doesn't have to be used. Our pancreas doesn't have to be used. Our stomach doesn't have to be, because we simply drink it. It goes into our blood and raises our blood level of ketones. The gallbladder doesn't have to do anything. The liver doesn't have to do anything. So with a true ketogenic diet, the liver has to do a lot of work to make those ketone bodies. The gallbladder has to work to break down the fats. But with Keto OS, it doesn't have to happen that way. You simply drink it. So if you don't have a gallbladder, no worries. If you've had a history of stomach issues or pancreatic issues, we don't need any pancreatic enzymes. We don't need any gallbladder enzymes or liver enzymes. You simply drink it and get the benefits of ketones into your body. That's a very, very common question. Seems like a lot of people do have their some of their organs removed. So know that you can, again, this is a great reason. Why would I drink it? Because my digestion's already impaired. And so it may be hard for you to get ketones or get your body to make their own ketones. And here you can simply drink them and in 20 minutes be in ketosis. So I'm just trying to read some questions. Okay. Susie's asking about constipation on chocolate, what to do. So, hey, Susie, thanks for asking that question. So let's talk a little bit about constipation and diarrhea and gas also. So let's talk about chocolate since Susie asked about that. So the chocolate has a prebiotic. It's called inulin or chicory root. It helps turn on those healthy gut bugs. So you may experience some more increase in gas production because your body is turning on those healthy bacteria that we need to aid in digestion. And know that we have butyrate in there, which is a short chain fatty acid. It's a salt, so it's not a fat. That's why there's no fat in 3.0. So if you're having constipation with any of the ketone products, the first thing I would do is make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. Ketones are a natural diuretic. That's why they're amazing at reducing inflammation and amazing at pulling water out of fat cells. But know that when you pull that water out of fat cells and you pull the fat out of inflammation, you also can lose things like magnesium and sodium, potassium. That's why there's the proper balance of sodium in each of the products. But if you're having constipation, number one, make sure you're drinking enough water, or maybe a little bit extra water to help balance out what's happening with the ketones. The major function of our large intestine is to reabsorb water. So if you're having trouble evacuating, that means constipation, know that you need to probably increase more water, maybe add some electrolytes, specifically magnesium. You can add 200 or 400 milligrams. I always just say make sure with your healthcare provider before starting any supplement, even adding a vitamin supplement in there. And people often ask me what brand. I would like you to choose the cleanest, most natural brand, so no artificial colorings, no artificial additives, just specifically magnesium or the magnesium, potassium, calcium combination, just a good multi-mineral that doesn't have anything artificial in there, and labeling will tell the truth. So just look for those products and add those in if you're having constipation. If you're the other way, having diarrhea, first identify if the ketones are helping reduce inflammation out of your gut, because sometimes people will have increase of bowel movements and they'll have 3 or 4 bowel movements the first 3 or 4 days, no crampiness, no pain, no urgency, just looser stools. That's actually how our body pulls out inflammation out of our cells. If it's too much too fast, simply reduce your serving size of Keto OS and make sure you have a little bit of food with it. That will actually slow down the absorption time so your body doesn't absorb it so quickly, which should also slow down those bowel movements. So again, listen to your body, reduce that serving if you're having increased bowel movements. And again, we don't want this going on for more than just a couple of days. So if you've been using the Keto OS and for a couple of weeks experiencing increased bowel movements, pain, anything like that, simply reduce the serving, go way back to maybe even a fourth of serving and have some food with it, specifically fats, 3 or 4 nuts or 3 or 4 almonds or a little piece of steak or chicken. It will help slow down that process. Again, constipation, more water, more healthy fiber, more healthy greens, more healthy fats like avocados and oils help things slide right out and evacuate properly. Sorry, I talked a lot about there. Hey, Stacey, we talked about the safety for kidneys. So Keto OS is water soluble. So we simply excrete out what we don't need. And I'm just differentiating between an endogenous ketone, which our body has to make in a ketogenic state or fat adapted. Well, with Keto OS, you can be on the standard American diet. You can be on a paleo diet. You can be a low carb, high fat, kosher diet, halal, any of those type of diets that you choose, and still get the benefits of ketones by simply drinking Keto OS and putting them into your body. So Amber, great question. What about PCOS, infertility, in vitro? So very common question. I have a lot of people sharing their experiences that their hormones are getting more balanced out, or they've had a history of improper menses, or maybe even no cycle at an early age, and now things are turning on. Or I have men saying that they're actually having increased hair growth, or they're having higher levels of testosterone, better muscles after working out. Why is that happening? There are no hormones in Keto OS or Biomax or Keto Cream. No hormones at all. Simply the salt beta hydroxybutyrate with some extra special friends like amino acids and probiotics to help balance them out. So what's happening is that signaling property that we fully don't understand. We have two major circuit breakers in our head called the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. It actually signals everything in our body to help our thyroid stimulating hormone, our adrenocorticotropin hormone, or gonadal hormones. Lots of different hormones are signaled from our brain to our sex organs and to our other digestive organs. So it's that signaling property that we see resolve in some imbalances in hormone, whether male or female. So again, Google that information, look up those clinical studies, or go to the top of the Facebook page and in the search bar, search for whatever it is you're looking for to help you find that. So we're getting just a couple more questions here. We're going to review products. We're going to talk about what's upcoming. If you went to Epic, give me a big one if I saw you there, or you were there and I didn't see you there, but give me a big one if you went to Epic. 2, if you had the opportunity to go through the lab and see how amazing the lab is. And just to let you know, every single batch is tested. So we get the salts in, the lab gets the salt in, they send every batch out for testing. The salts have to sit in the lab for 4 or 5 days until those testing results come back. They're testing for heavy metals, they're testing for any imbalances of any bacteria or pathogens. Then we go further and make those products. So know that each single batch is tested for heavy metal, it's tested for additives, it's tested for any type of things that we don't want in there, and then they're made. And we know that the turnaround in our lab is really about 10 to 12 days. Joe and Dan do an amazing job there. So a big one's up again. So many people were there. It was just amazing. Collins, we just talked about hormones and PCOS up above, so you can replay this and catch that information there. Yeah, Trisha went to the lab. What an amazing benefit. So, and yes, Collins, we did talk about PCOS. I kind of grouped it all together with infertility or hormone imbalances, because PCOS we know can be caused from an increased level of testosterone, or from too many carbohydrates, or really an imbalance in glucose. So we know that Keto OS doesn't have any hormones in it, but it's that signaling property that we're going to learn more about at Keto Academy. Okay, so I'm just going to say again, hello to everyone around the globe, and we are going to talk about the products, review those, and then talk about the upcoming labs. But as always, I really want to thank Prove It for focusing on education. That's why I'm here every Wednesday. That's why we have the amazing speakers we had over Epic. Again, Keto Academy is going to be Friday, March 30th. Get your ticket now. It's 25% off today and tomorrow. You won't want to miss it. It will be 8 to 10 amazing speakers talking about ketone technology, exogenous ketones, where we've been, where we're going, just to help you really further understand. So if you're one of those people who really want to know the biochemistry, this is an amazing time to invite your friends, your healthcare practitioners. It is Friday, March 30th. The tickets are available. Just go to the top of this Facebook page under events, or you can go to the store in your office and you can buy your tickets right there today. Followed by more, which is April 1st and 2nd, which is really more not about product. We're not going to talk about it like we do on Wednesdays. It's personal development, it's business development. It's really helping understanding how this community can really help your life. So let's talk about the difference here. I've heard a lot of things about, oh, what's Swiss Mass, sorry, let me take a drink. I'm talking super fast. So Nicole, super quick, Keto Academy is really diving deep into ketones, ketone technology, exogenous ketones. There will be 8 to 12 amazing speakers speaking on a variety of ketones. Will be a little bit of product knowledge, but no business building, no personal development. More is more personal development, more business building opportunities. So we don't really talk more about the ketone technology at more. That's getting more information for you. So again, thank you everyone for joining, and let's just start with the Orange Dream, which is 2.1. What the numbers mean is the versions as we continue to optimize the formula after hearing your experiences and making it the best ketone supplement on the market. The numbers refer to the versions that our formulators use in the labs. So the Orange 2.1, Orange Dreamsicle, sorry, I lost my voice from more. I screamed so much all weekend. It has MCT oil. It's the only one that has a medium chain triglyceride attached to the beta hydroxybutyrate. Remember, we're drinking the Keto OS for the beta hydroxybutyrate. That ketone body specifically gives us more energy, neuroprotective, more ATP, reduces inflammation. We complement it by adding more MCT oil because your body can actually use MCT and make more ketones to it. It's a great source of energy. However, it is plated to keep it all natural. We have plated the MCT to the BHB with a little bit of dairy that's from cow's milk. That's where the B12 and the iodine and the carbs come from. Very common question. So that's the Orange Dream. The chocolate is a 3.0. So if you've been using MCT oil, or you know you have a digestive imbalance, and maybe the chocolate is a better source for you because it doesn't have a medium chain, which is again an amazing energy source, but sometimes it's hard for people to digest MCT oils. We have the chocolate, which has butyrate. Butyric acid can be found in things like grass-fed butter, but we know that this is dairy-free. The 2.1 is not. We have the amazing prebiotic inulin, which turns on those healthy gut bugs. Prebiotic means at the beginning of digestion. It also has added amino acids, which every age group can benefit from. I say womb to tomb, so everybody can benefit from having more amino acids that are bioavailable, that our body can use right away. That's the difference between the Orange has MCT, this is dairy-free, has a predigestive enzyme. So people out there who have gut issues and you've had them for a bit, the chocolate's an amazing source for that. The butyrate helps reduce inflammation. You can Google butyric acid or butyrate and get the benefits. You can Google MCT and get the benefits, but know that we're drinking this for the beta hydroxybutyrate. That's the ketone salt that everybody wants in their body, and that's what works right at the cellular level in the mitochondria, which is a powerhouse of our cell. Next, we have the Max. This is the Maui Punch Max. It is vegan certified. The salts are kosher certified. All of them are gluten-free, nut-free, soy-free, mushroom-free, egg-free. I'm trying to think whatever allergens, but they're all gluten-free. I did ask Joe to verify. So if you're worried about any type of cross-contamination, after they run, like say we run all the orange fruit that has a dairy in it, everything is 100% clean and wiped down before they run the next product. So it is definitely 100% clean. So if you've got a dairy allergy or if you're trying to eat kosher or avoid some of those things, know that every batch is cleaned and 100% before they run the next product through there. So the Maui Punch Max has the same beta hydroxybutyrate in the 2.1 or the orange and the chocolate, but the beta hydroxybutyrate is blended and twisted to make it more bioavailable. What that means is you're going to have a better peak and spike in your experience in ketosis and have a longer experience in ketosis. So more of a bam, if you want to say so, like Michael Rutherford does. So yeah, bam, you feel that a little bit more, but that's the difference. Sorry, voice from Epic. That's the difference in the 2.1 and the chocolate. All of them come in caffeine or caffeine free. Amazing, amazing. Plus it has additional amino acids like we talked a little bit about earlier that are ketone friendly, that your body can break down and make additional amino acids and increase protein synthesis, in addition to having the benefits of having ketones are muscle sparing. So what is, what is Swiss Max? Give me a 5 if you got to taste the Swiss Max this weekend. So let's see all the 5s through there. So Swiss Max is simply Maui Punch, and this comes from, again, essential oils help flavor all of our products, and the red color comes from beet juice. And what we have is a Swiss Max that has the cacao or cocoa powder in them. We know cacao is a great, helps a great anti-inflammatory, great for our immune system, but it's the same hydroxybutyrate blender twist that we find in Maui Punch Max, but it's chocolate flavored with cacao. It has the additional amino acids that help increase protein synthesis and can break down and make more ketone bodies, which is leucine and taurine. The salts are kosher certified. It is vegan certified. It is dairy certified. So if you look, the emblems are very, very similar. Like this. So again, look at the 5. Look how many people got to taste that. How amazing is that? And I'm going to tell you, it tastes like a brownie mix or like a mousse mix. So it is truly amazing. And last section, you can mix or match any of the products. So I love doing, because I only had a couple packets, mixing the chocolate with the Max. Somebody told me that they actually mix the Swiss Miss with the Max and it tastes like a cherry bomb. I know other people like to mix the chocolate with the Max or the Max with the orange just to get a different flavor. You can absolutely mix and match those. You can mix them with something hot, something cold. So in iced slushy, or a lot of people like to put the 3.0 in their coffee. Some people said they like to put the Max in their herbal tea. It gives it a nice round flavor. So all the products we talked about, the orange, the chocolate, the Maui Punch, and the Swiss Cacao, all have beta hydroxybutyrate in it. The Keto Cream does not have any Maui Punch in it. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Sorry. Retake that. The Keto Cream doesn't have any beta hydroxybutyrate in that. So no ketone body found in the Keto Cream, but it does have all the basic building blocks that your body needs to help make them. So when you turn over the back and read that, there's no beta hydroxybutyrate. You have MCT powder, you have coconut powder, a patent blend of Ceylon cinnamon. So your body can take 15 grams of healthy saturated fats and use them to help function all day. And your body can further break those down into more ketone bodies. Last section, when is the best time to use the products? I always tell people, you know yourself better than anybody else. You either have a hungry time, you have a sleepy time that you get either in the morning, like if you're hard to get out of bed, or afternoon, you know where that slump is, or if you're working out, simply start using the Keto products about 30 to 40 minutes before that hungry, tired workout time is. And then you're going to see your body really experience a better balance of energy, better clarity, better mental focus. If you're using it for anti-inflammatory benefits, and I would say use it in the morning before you start using your muscles throughout the day, use in the afternoon because your body continues to use your muscles and bones throughout the day. So again, you can use it anytime. I know if I stood in front of a crowd of all of you and asked you, somebody in the morning, I have a hand raised, mid-morning, I'd have hand raised, lunchtime, people's hand would raise. So you can use the Keto products anytime you want. You can mix them in hot or cold. You can mix any of the products together. We do recommend that 1 serving is therapeutic and 2 serving a day is actually considered optimal performance. You will see and experience a lot of people using 2 or 3. Maybe they have bigger health concerns that they're worried about and using more. But simply, if you get too many ketone bodies, your body simply excretes them out. So we have not found any clinical data in over 11 million servings of any adverse reactions of having too many ketone products. As I know there are formulators and people in the lab drink several servings a day, getting the tasting right, getting their blood ketone levels right. So we haven't found any adverse reaction to that. And we haven't discovered any adverse reaction when adding exogenous ketones to any other nutritional supplements or to your prescription medications. But please always check with your primary healthcare provider before adding any nutritional product to your diet. So hopefully I helped answer a lot of your questions today. I know I don't get everyone's answered, but to sum it up, if you have a question we didn't answer, please ask maybe a friend that's got some great knowledge on ketone or ketosis, things like that. But go to the Help Center. It's an amazing resource that you can use 24/7. You don't have to call up a friend or go back and listen to me, but go to the top of proveitnow.com. The question mark is circled, or all the way at the bottom when it says Contact Help or Help Center. You can click on that, and that will bring up the amazing Health Center. There's 4 different bars. The first one talks about each and every product. The Swiss Cacao Mix was not up there yesterday, but I know Craig is diligently working on getting that data up there. Every other product is there. The label is there. Explains why there's sodium in Keto OS. Explains why there's dairy in the 2.1. We also talk about if you're having digestive issues, whether it's excess gas or diarrhea or constipation, we give you the certain dosing, whether therapeutic for 1 or optimal performance for 2. The next tab is health. It explains why it's safe if you're breastfeeding, why it's safe if you're pregnant, why it's safe and healthy for your liver or your kidneys, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes. We talk about if you're experiencing dehydration that you may maybe experience if you're using Keto OS because it is an amazing diuretic. If you experience an increase in blood pressure or increase in heart rate, it can simply either be because your body's getting a little bit dehydrated, so we actually have you add a little bit more water into your diet, or it could be because you're adding extra caffeine into your diet. So if you're using Keto Cream into your coffee or tea, that's extra caffeine maybe you weren't having before. If you're adding 1 to 2 Keto OS or Maxes, that's an additional caffeine into your body. So just maybe analyze what you're doing and make sure you're drinking plenty of water. I want to thank you all for being here because it really does touch me to know that you're here wanting to have more information. I know many of you have been here before and you love getting information to share with your family and friends. I love the amazing sharing community that Prove It brings to you, and they really do focus on education. So I hope to meet each and every one of you or see you on March 31st at Keto Academy and at More, which is April 1st and 2nd. The tickets are available today. They're 25% off, people, so get some additional tickets. If you're one of those people that Epic sold out and you were trying to get a ticket and you know it sold out, we had overflow rooms. We maxed out the hotel. The block of rooms went out super quick. Please don't wait. Get the amazing price. Buy one for your friend or family. Get them involved. Let them learn about the ketone technology. So I'd encourage you to do that today, ASAP, or tomorrow before midnight Central Standard Time. Again, if we didn't get your question answered on the Help Center, you can send it into support@provethq.com. So have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. If your friends miss this, know that you can share it to your Facebook page. You can share it to their Facebook page. You can always go back and look at the past videos. But again, I enjoy being here to share ketone technology, the ketone lifestyle, and really just share what an amazing community we have. So thank you all for being here. Hey, Rob, thanks for being my wingman many weeks and helping me answer these questions faster than I can shout them out. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next week.